Join ForumIAS Academy, trusted by hundreds of toppers, including IAS Rank 1 Anudeep Durishetty, Shruti Sharma, and Ishita Kishore.
Hello aspirants. In this part of this series, we are going to study or understand the basics of power, okay? And also we'll relate it with authority. Then there is another correlation that can be built with another concept called legitimacy also, but that is something that I'm going to keep for another video. So just look at this concept power here, okay? And a standalone topic in political science paper 1 section A. But here, as the purpose of the series is to help you to understand things in their most fundamental manner, in their most foundational manner. Okay? So, purpose ये है कि इसका basis समझोगे. Power. If you recall our discussion on this question that we had, that is what is meant by politics. There in the last part of the video, I told you that politics is all about power. How power is structured, how it is distributed, how it is retained, and all that. Okay? So, politics is actually about power. The practical or the practice of politics is actually nothing but the exercise of power. And as an academic discipline, or you can say in academics, politics is about the study of power. Okay, so as a student of politics, you are actually the student of power. Okay? How power, who gets power, how it is retained, how it is maintained, how it is distributed. So these are the core questions of politics. These are actually the most essential, foundational questions of politics, and that is why I say that a student of politics is actually the student of power. Okay, so how this term is defined, how this concept is defined. I told you that in your foundation course, you cover that in multiple lectures. But here, it is the most basic understanding that you can have about power is this, that it can be simply seen as the ability. Ability. Ability of what? Ability to do something or ability to achieve something. Power is simply ability to achieve an objective that you has set for yourself or an outcome that you actually desire. Okay, so if you exercise power, you are actually able to, you are actually aiming to attain an outcome, an objective that you have set for yourself. Okay, so basically the influence, the ability. In conventional sense, there is another scholar who has defined power in the following manner. A scholar by this name Robert Dahl, but that is immaterial here, talking about the scholars. So there it is understood, the conventional meaning of power is understood in the following manner, whereby it is said that suppose there are two people, Mr. A and Mr. B, then power is understood to have been exercised by A over B if A can get B do something which B otherwise would not have done. Okay? This is the conventional, traditional understanding of power, where it is understood as power over. If A has power over B, that means A can get B do something which B otherwise would not have done. Okay? A gets B to do something which B otherwise would not do. That is power over. That means what? It shows the ability of A. It shows A's influence over B. Okay? It shows how influence is being exerted by A over B, and this is simply you define as power. And in this context, again, you can just draw a distinction between power and authority. Okay? So, as I said, that power is actually the exertion of influence. It's all about the ability, while authority is more about right. Right, यहाँ पास अधिकार से मतलब है right rather than ability. That means if A exercises authority over B, that means A has the right to get B do something which B otherwise would not have done, and it is the aspect is actually not focusing over the ability of A, whether A is capable of doing something that, or asking B to do something which otherwise would not have been done by B. Okay, so authority would mean that it is A's right to ask B to do something. Okay, whether A is having that ability or not, that is immaterial to consider. Okay, so power and authority में फर्क यहाँ पास आ जाता है कि power is about ability while authority is about right. Okay, now understand. You can also take another example. For example, dacoits have the power to loot, to ransack your house and loot it. They do not have the authority. While if police personnel have got something wrong against you, and they just follow the standard procedure, they can just get things done in a manner whereby they would be seen exercising the authority, that they can also go on ransacking your house in search of something, but they will be having a proper formal procedure to do that. Okay, and that is the exercise of authority. While dacoits ransacking your house is the exercise of power. Okay, in very brute sense, it is the exercise of power and not the authority. Dacoits do not have authority, while police personnel, if they are following the proper procedure, have the authority to search, ransack your house. Okay. Okay, now see that this is a basic understanding of power, but even then, exertion of power can be seen in various ways. That power is exercised, applied in various ways. Okay, another scholar that comes to my mind who has dealt with this particular thing in very exhaustive manner is Stephen Lukes, but that again is something that you study as part of foundation. I'm not going into scholars here. So Stephen Lukes, in his exhaustive study, has captured the exertion of power in different dimensions, in different ways, which can also be seen as the faces of power, the aspects of power, dimensions of power. Okay, and he has listed 3 dimensions, which is also called the 3D view of power. First is power as decision making. Okay, so this is a mechanical view of power. This is a view of power, a dimension of power, whereby power is being exercised to influence decision. Decision making means power is being exercised to influence decision, to compel someone to act against their will. Okay, so in its first dimension, it is quite close to what you have seen in the understanding of power when it is seen in terms of power over. Okay, so in terms of decision making, what you can say, that this aspect or facet of power is exercised by obliging people through certain ways, by also applying the force, that is intimidation. Okay, by also you can say making certain exchanges of some mutual advantage. So somehow getting others do something against their will. Okay, decision making is that aspect. Okay, हो सकता है आपको नाम से उतना ज़्यादा clear ना हो, लेकिन understanding यहाँ पास ये है कि asking or compelling people to do something which against their will. Okay, so that can be done by the use of force, that can be done by obliging them, that can be done also by appealing to certain mutual advantage that both people will be having, finally bringing them to will, or finally bringing them to act in a manner whereby that complies with the larger scheme of someone who is trying to apply power. Okay, so that is power as decision making. Now second is power as agenda setting. Okay, understand. So you understood decision making. Agenda setting would be something you can see as quite opposite to the first facet of power. That means power of non-decision making. Okay, power of non-decision making means those who are exercising power are actually aiming that certain issues, certain ideas which they do not want to come on surface are not represented well. Okay, so that means certain decisions could not be made, could not be taken. That is agenda setting. Agenda setting means ensuring that ideas or opinions or issues that you do not want to come on surface should not come on surface. Okay, so that is the application of power. That is another facet, aspect, how power is exerted. That means it is ensured by the wielder of power that the issues, the ideas, the concerns that he doesn't want to come on surface, he ensures that those issues do not get represented or do not get much hype. Okay, so that is agenda setting, preventing the issues and ideas to come on surface. Okay, preventing that no decisions are taken in that context on that particular issue or idea. That is non-decision making. Okay, so the second thing, agenda setting, is non-decision making. And third dimension is thought control. Very much related to ideology, but you haven't understood ideology yet. You are going to see that in some next video in the same series. Okay, so thought control, understand that here the exertion of power is aiming what? The exertion of power is aiming to influence the very thinking process, the very thought process of others. Okay, so what people think, what ideas they think about, they reflect upon, thought control or this particular dimension of power is actually aiming to control that. Okay, so for example, a group of people may exist in a society which doesn't want you to think about poor, let us say, who doesn't want you to think about society in a manner whereby you see it basically a system whereby those who are halves of the society are indulged in a systematic manner, are indulged in certain activities aiming to systematically exploit the have-nots. Okay, so power is thought control would aim that people do not think in a manner, do not reflect on in a manner which harms or in any way puts the wielder of power in any disadvantage. Okay, shaping the ideas, the thinking process, the thought process, in more simple terms you can say that. Okay, so power is thought control. This is the third dimension of power. Okay, now this traditional understanding power and the 3D view of power, traditional understanding means where power is seen as power over, the whole debate has been enriched by other traditions also. So one very original contribution was made by a theorist and also a political philosopher, Hannah Arendt. Okay, so Hannah Arendt, our ancient notion of power is quite different. Their power is seen not as power over, but power to. Okay, you study that also in very good detail as part of paper 1, section A, because Hannah Arendt is one of the thinkers that you have to study in Western political thought. Okay, so there, Hannah Arendt's conception of power is power to. That is enabling view of power. Enabling view of power. Okay, so there the conception or the understanding is this, that when people act in concern, when people collectively work to pursue certain political agenda or certain political goal, then in that case power is being exercised. And there the thesis is that such kind of power ensures check over any totalitarian tendencies of regimes. Okay, so that is another view of power where it is being seen as power to, that is enabling view of power, whereby people are empowered when they are acting together, when they are acting in concern. Okay, so that is another view of power. Now the whole debate is also related with more great, you can say, an understanding of authority and legitimacy in a greater detail, but that is something that we should cover in the next part. Okay, so this was all. Thank you.